Guys, what's going on? It is James here, and I decided to do another video related to price action, future predictions, and all that fun stuff. So obviously, before I get into this video, I'm going to let you know that I am not a financial advisor. Nothing in this video is financial advice. You should always speak to a professional financial advisor before making any type of investment. I can't even talk hardly, so you definitely don't want to be taking my advice. All right, so with that being said, I posted up something in my Facebook group and somebody had a question about it, and I was basically making a comparison between the current bear market and the previous bear market of 2014. I've done this all throughout the year, and the funny thing is I was a guy that was saying you can't use the past to predict the future because that's what the experts say, right? I'm starting to question that a little bit. I'm going to show you something that's very uncanny. It's eerily accurate. All right, so I'm going to pull in a notepad here. So if we take a look at this, the chart that I posted up in my Facebook group, I basically said, hey, look, if you're wondering where we're at in comparison to 2014, we're here. And then I kind of put an arrow. And somebody said, hey, well, what's that based on? Is it time span? Is it price? What is it? Well, it's based on the time span, and it's also based on the price. So if we take a look, in November 2013, Bitcoin, according to CoinMarketCap, got up to $1,146. Now, it got a little higher some places, a little lower some places, but according to CoinMarketCap, 1146. 11 months into that bear market, it had dropped by 74% and bottomed out at $305. Now, if we look at the current market, in December of 2017, CoinMarketCap had the high at 19,380. Again, it got a little higher a few places, got a little lower a few places, but that's the CoinMarketCap number. Currently, CoinMarketCap has the low of 54.99 this month. Now, again, same deal. I know on GDAX it got down to like 5,100. That's where I trade at. I know, right? But we're going to CoinMarketCap, so everything's off the same data. That is a 72% drop 11 months in to this bear market. And that's assuming we don't drop more, this week, which is probably going to happen. So, crazy, right? This has been happening all year. It's almost like you could overlay these charts. They're so similar. So, I mentioned earlier, again on Facebook, that I still felt like $3,500 was entirely reasonable and very possible in the cards. I don't want that to happen. I still have a lot of investments. I'm not talking about trades. I'm talking about actual investments. And like everybody else, those investments are down big. I haven't looked at the exact percentages lately because it's just depressing as hell. But the last time I looked, I think I was down around 70% from the highs. Now, that's not 70% off my investment. It doesn't mean I put in $100 and I'm down to 30. What it means is from the highs, I'm down about 70%. However, I will say, unfortunately, that I'm down so much on my holding coins that I've erased all of the profits I made trading. And we're talking about a considerable amount of money. Lost all my profits from trading, and I'm actually in the red for the first time ever, right? I've never been in the red before. So that's very depressing. And it was a large amount of money. It was a huge portion of my net worth. But that happens, right? I mean, there's nothing we can do about it. I learned from it. But one thing I want to point out is, even knowing that, I have an emotional bias. So when I look at charts, I may not even realize that I have this emotional bias, and I see things in a more positive light than what they probably are. We all tend to do that. And you have to be really careful about that, because the emotional side of me wants to say, no, this isn't true. This isn't true. But the objective side of me says, look, this has been happening all year. These charts have been moving together all year. Here we are 11 months in. We're almost identical. I mean, this is crazy close. 74 and 72. And like I said, it's very possible that it drops more this week. Watch this. Let's say that it falls down to 5,000 this week, right? Which I've seen some people calling for. So if it does fall to 5,000, that would be a 74.3% drop. Sounding familiar? 74.3%. Ooh, crazy, right? So anyway, in the last bear market, this was after 11 months, it finally bottomed after roughly 15 months. And when it did, it bottomed at 195, which was an 83% drop. So if we have a repeat it means that we should bottom in February of 2019, which would be an 83% drop. That's where I'm getting the 3,500-ish numbers from. Now, here's the crazy thing about this. This also lines up with something else that you may have heard of, and it's called the Bitcoin halving. It's where the reward for Bitcoin gets chopped in half, and that's typically, historically, that's what's created the price run up. It happened the last time it went in half, and hopefully it happens again. So let me show you what I'm talking about. The last time Bitcoin had a halving was in July of 2016. And the run up, look at this. If we're looking at a chart, so we bottomed out in January of 2015, and really the run up didn't start until about right here, which was in August of 2015, about 8 months after the bottom, and about 11 months before the Bitcoin halving. And it really, really started to run up. You know, if you look, it really started to take off about 7 to 8 months before that halving. Now, if you look at the chart and we start comparing these timelines, if our next bottom is in, according to this, February of 2019, and if it takes 8 months before we start our run up, that would be October of 2019. The next halving is in May of 2020, which would be roughly 7 months after the run up starts. And again, if you look at the last one, it did the Bitcoin halving in July of 2019, July of 2016, and the run up really, really started strong in November of 2015, which was about 8 months, right? 7 to 8 months. That's what I'm saying. These timelines, to me, I think they're hard to ignore. Now, there will be people out there who try to find reasons to dispute that. That's fine. I'm cool with that. I love a good conversation. And like I said, I'm still holding a lot of coins. I'm down 70% on. So if I'm wrong and you're right and it goes way, way up before then, hallelujah. I will be glad to be wrong. But if I'm being objective and I'm taking out my emotional bias, this to me, it looks like the most likely scenario. To me, it looks like we're not done dropping. We're probably going to go down to 5,000 or 5,200 this week, which is going to be a 74% drop. We're probably going to keep going down. We're probably going to go through Christmas. People are going to start selling their crypto for the end of year. They're going to record those tax losses. It's going to drive the price down more. January's going to roll around. There's going to be taxes due. People are going to sell to pay taxes. It's going to drop more. And we're probably going to end up somewhere around $3,200 to $3,500 for this. The bottom's going to be in. We're probably going to go sideways for 6 to 8 months. And that'll put us in the third to fourth quarter of 2019. And then people are going to get excited about the next Bitcoin halving. It's going to start to run up. And hopefully, we see some new all-time highs at some point in 2020. But remember this. The last Bitcoin halving was in the summer of 2016. And it didn't really take off until about a year after that. So if we have a repeat of that, it might be 2021 before we see new highs again. Again, not what I want to hear. I don't want to wait 2.5 years to see new highs. But emotional bias aside, that's what it looks like to me. So, love to hear your comments. Love to hear your thoughts. I would love, no doubt, for you to leave a comment showing me why I'm wrong so that I can be happy, because quite frankly, these numbers and this data depress the hell out of me. All right, this is James with Crypto Quick Start. If you liked the video, do me a favor, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. And if you're not already a member of the Facebook group, it's a little quiet in there these days, so come hang out. There'll be a link in the description.